What's up, guys? This is Barbie Blank, former WWE Diva, Kelly, and you're watching Byron Scott's Fast Break.
And we're back. Another episode of Byron Scott's Fast Break. I'm Kid J. That's the coach.
That'd be me.
Three-time world champion Byron Scott.
Yes, sir.
And today we welcome in the building. We're taking it straight to the Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, the WWE.
Barbie Blank, a.k.a. Kelly.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. What an introduction.
You know, we have to do it. All right, so I got to go to the clipboard. Let me read some of these accomplishments.
Got a lot of them.
If you're okay with this.
Oh, please.
Keep it coming.
Yeah.
Keep it coming.
Dare to Be Different Award. Most Improved Wrestler of the Year by the Baltimore Sun. Ranked top 15 of 50 female wrestlers in Pro Wrestling Federation. WWE Divas Champion. WWE 24/7 Champion. And you won a Slammy Award.
I did.
So out of all those awards, which one means the most to you?
Winning the Divas Championship, for sure. That was definitely the highlight of my career, for
Whose
sure.
ass did you kick?
So the Bella twins, I don't know if you guys have heard it. They're everywhere now. We kind of started together. So it was really cool to get to beat Brie for the Divas Championship. And the really cool part about that was it was a night where it was called, it was fans voting. So fans got to vote on who they wanted to see in the matches. And it was like Power to the People was what it was called. And so we found out that day we were having the match. And Brie, so there was three of us who were, it was either me, Eve Torres, or Beth Phoenix. And out of those three, whoever the, audience chose, they would end up winning the championship. But we didn't know who they were choosing. And so it was kind of like, Brie, you have to learn 3 matches on the, you've got an hour to memorize those. We're gonna be on live television. And as soon as they announce who they want to see, go against Brie Bella, then that's who's winning. So we're all standing there. And I just remember when it showed the results, and it was I don't know, it was crazy. The numbers that I have were crazy because apparently they even went over into the next match. So I think I was I don't know, 90% or something. It was oh my gosh.
Of the votes.
Of the votes.
Wow.
And as soon as I saw my name, I was instantly oh my God. Because I'm winning. I was so excited. So I was just okay. So then you get shown on the camera, you walk out to the ring. It's that immediate. And I just remember feeling so much emotion because I feel like I had worked there. I think I'd been there for 5 years, nonstop on the road, 300 days a year. This was my moment that I had worked so hard for. And I'm getting goosebumps talking about it because it was just it was my time. And I remember I had actually went to Vince a few weeks before that. And I went to his office, and I never go because I'm he's a scary boss, he just is very
I'm talking about Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
I mean,
we are.
But he's great. He and I, he was such the boss. He was at every rehearsal. He was this is how I want everything. And you don't really it's like going to a principal's office. I didn't want to, so I just knew after 5 years, I was I was talking to my family and friends, and they're go talk to him. Tell him you want the championship. And I was you know what? Fine. So one day I got the guts and I went into his office and I said, Vince, look, I think I'd really make a good champion. And I really want the opportunity. He's like, okay, Kelly. And I was that's okay. Okay, fine. So I was okay, bye. So then this match came along, and obviously, it is scripted, but that part was not. It was up to the fans, right?
Yeah, right.
And they probably had a feeling Kelly's going to win because I was the big baby face at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really cool. So I just remember walking out and being wow, Vince is giving me this chance and this is my opportunity. And won the match. I I was bawling, crying, I was holding the championship. They had one of the announcers come in the ring and interview me, and I'm bawling. I can't even get a sentence out. I'm that's just so happy. Not a cute crier, but
She seized the moment.
yeah, I did. And yeah, it was just amazing. It was full circle moment. So
I love that.
Wow, Barbie, I gotta go here because we know you were a model first. That's how you got discovered before you got in WWE, and I told you when I first met you, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it like my boys in the hood. She fine.
Yeah.
That's what my boys would say. You know what I'm saying? KJ, fine, dog. She fine.
I concur.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you make that transition from modeling to WWE? Because I know as a parent, I would be like, baby, don't do that. I don't want them to mess your face up. I want you to stay beautiful.
Yeah.
And you made that transition look pretty effortlessly.
Yeah.
How was it making that transition though?
Well, I had a gymnastics background, competitive gymnast at like 5 years old. I was in gymnastics at 2. My uncle owned like the first gymnastics in Jacksonville. So it was really cool to like, my mom, I was bouncing off the wall. She's like, we have to do something, put you in gymnastics. I was like, okay. So started competing 5, 6. Then I got into competitive cheerleading because I broke my tailbone. And so that was kind of the end of the gymnastics dream. So that's fun. And then, I did competitive cheerleading, and then I ended up coaching gymnastics when I was 15. So I kind of started, and then I watched wrestling with my dad. That was like our thing together. My mom hated it. She was like, we're not watching that at my house. You can go to your dad's house and watch it. So I was like, okay. And we watched it together. That was our thing. Right. And then, you turn 15, 16, it's not cool anymore. So I didn't really watch it. And then I got into modeling. I was doing Hawaiian Tropics. I was doing this Venus swimwear catalog, which is like based in Jacksonville at the time. WWE was looking for models that they could train to wrestle. Because I think they were seeing, because they were bringing in women like Trish Stratus and like Tori Wilson, who were like fitness models. Right. And they're like, oh, this is working. Like, I think we need to do this. And I think we need to like bring in girls who are younger, who we can kind of mold into like, our stars. And like, they saw my picture in a catalog. And they called my agent. They were like, hey, like, we really like her look. Is she athletic? And he's like, yeah, actually. So my agent called me and he was like, hey, I have this like crazy offer, like opportunity. And I was like, what? He's like, you ever thought about being a wrestler? I was like, well, I used to watch it, but like, I never knew it was ever possible. And he was like, yeah, you just have to go try out. The tryouts are in Atlanta, Georgia. We have another girl who's around your age who will come with you. And I was like, okay. So my dad was like, yes, for sure. Like, let's go. This is
baby girl. Go, baby girl. You go ahead, baby girl. You got this.
Because I was going to college and I didn't like it. And I was like, this is not what I want to do.
And you were like 19 at the
19.
time, right?
I think I just turned 19. Okay. And so my mom was like, I don't know. She's like, look, I know this is a really good opportunity. College will always be there. So I'm going to let you go to the tryout. And I was like, okay. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, tried out. Instant, like, I guess I did I guess you did okay. Yeah. So they were like, you're hired. But you have to move to Louisville, Kentucky was where the training was. And what they do is like, it's kind of like AAA baseball. Like they send all the people into like, you're all grouped together and just waiting to get called up to the big leagues, right? Yeah. So I go, my mom piles up a RV, just like, I've never lived on my own. I've never even done my own laundry. I was like, this is gonna be, we didn't have furniture. Like we had a bed, like, cause I ended up moving in with the girl who got hired too. Her name is Alicia Fox. And we got an apartment together and like, we're both 19. Like, what the hell are we doing?
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just like, the rest is history. But the tryout after that and just like going to the training facility is like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It's wild. Like I look back and I'm like, wow, I really just didn't give a fuck. I went out there and was like, you want me to jump off the thing? And like, I think back and I'm just like, wow, I don't know how to do it.
The shit you were doing back in those days. Well, I know one thing. Jim McMahon was a smart man. He was figured. Vince McMahon. He said, let me get some fine ass women to become wrestlers because the men viewership is going to go sky high.
Yeah, he did it.
Smart man.
Yeah. And I got called up. I was only down in the developmental for 2 months.
That's it. Huh?
And I got the call, and they were like, "We have this. We have the storyline for you." And I was like, "What is it?" And this is wild that this was allowed on live television. So they were bringing back this old called ECW. And it was like an old WWE bought them. So they bring it back and they were like, well, we want you to be like this exhibitionist. And then your jealous boyfriend's going to come out and like cover you up. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? And they're like, so we have this thing. It's going to be called Kelly's Expose. and you're gonna like take your clothes off, but you're only gonna get down to like a bikini, and then he's gonna come out. And I'm like, my parents are gonna fucking kill me. I am 19 years old. Like, this is my grandma, my 80-year-old grandma is watching.
Right.
And I just remember they were okay. I was like, I'm on tonight. And they were like, what are you doing? I'm like, that's what?
Yeah. You're like, Grandma, watch this in 10 years.
Yeah. So that's how I got my start.
Wow.
And thank God it only lasted for a few months because I was like, I'm not a dancer. I have no rhythm. I am like the whitest white girl. Like, because I was a gymnast, right? So everything is just like, it's just not cute. It was not cute. I don't know why, but I was like, you know what? If that's what I have to do to get my foot in the door, let's do it. So,
Okay.
What are your thoughts of the WWE women's division now after you done won the championship?
it's crazy how amazing. It's like, we started with not that much time. Like, we were given 5 to 10 minutes. Now the women are given, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it's just crazy and just amazing what the women have been given now.
You were the first female in WWE 24/7 champion in 2019. How did that change your life or make you feel at that particular time?
I was retired at that. Like, I had stopped wrestling at 2013, 14.
And you came back.
And I came back.
Yeah.
And so they were like starting to bring girls back. They had like the first ever women's Royal Rumble. They had the first ever women's all pay-per-view. So I came back for all those. And then they were doing a Raw where they were bringing back like older people. And they were like, hey, we have this really cool idea. We want you to be the first woman to win the 24/7 title. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So it was just like, that was the call I got. I didn't even know. I was at the airport going to the show, and that's when they called me and told me that. So
That's cool.
yeah.
How much of your time in the ring was actual physical pain, or you took a beating? And who was your toughest match?
So as women, we really wanted it to look real. Like, because we were getting the harshest critics, right? Because we're women, we're in a men's sport. Like, we really were like, well, we're gonna really beat the shit out of each other then. Like, we really, my big thing was like, I'm the baby face, which is like the good guy. And I think of how I got so much success there is because I was the underdog. And I always told every girl I wrestled, beat the shit out of me. Like, I want the crowd to feel like really sorry for me. Like, there's no chance in hell she's gonna win this match. And I come back and I win,
you win.
Right? So that was like, so many other women are just like, let me get my shit in. Let me I want to show all my fancy moves. And then it's just like, well, the crowd can't get behind that. So I really got the psychology. There is a huge psychology to wrestling and putting on matches. And you have to just really understand the psychology. And I think I got it. And I just remember that was like every time. So I wrestled a lot of girls, and I was smaller, right? And I could do like backflips and all this cool stuff.
Can you still do a backflip?
I don't know, guys. I've had twins. Okay.
In the hills.
Hey. That's pushing it.
We just got to put some
little mat down, maybe.
Yeah, a little mat down with some cushion, just in case. Just in case.
Bring me back, maybe. I'll wear some tennis shoes.
So, Barb, your boy Vince McMahon gave you the nickname Kelly Kelly, right? Mm-hmm. When you first heard him give you that nickname, what was your first reaction? Well,
I wanted Barbie. I wanted Barbie so bad, and they were like, it's trademarked. Mattel, we can't. So then they gave me a list of like 10 or 15 names. And Kelly was on there, and I was like, oh, I like Kelly. That's cute. She was a Barbie. There was a Kelly doll. So I was like, okay. So it was Kelly. And then I debuted, and the next week it was Kelly Kelly. So Vince, who knows the way he thinks, but he had seen a Cheers episode. And I guess the girl bartender is Kelly. I don't know. It's before my time. But
I think it was.
Yeah. So, and there was a song that was like Kelly, 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 Kelly. So that's how Kelly Kelly became
the
Kelly
song.
Kelly.
The song was done by Woody Harrelson.
Yes.
During the Cheers episodes where he would say Kelly, 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 Kelly. He would start singing the song. So it's a little bit before him too. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, you're right. So that's how you got it. Okay, cool.
That's what I heard.
And your reaction though was you were like cool with it though?
Yeah,
like,
I was. Nobody had two of the same name. So I was like, it'll stand out for sure. Yeah. So
how did your parents take that?
They liked it. They thought it was cute.
I mean, the name Barbie Blank that's a great name.
I know.
Hey, this basketball season, when your favorite stars score buckets, we're alley-ooping you an opportunity to win money from watching sports with Underdog. They're our brand new partner. Underdog is the leading sports app, and you can play right here in LA. All these Los Angeles teams, you can participate with them, and it's super simple.
They got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. Laker fans, I'm talking to you, okay? Create entries with all basketball picks or mix and match across other sports.
This week on the Underdog app, I'm going.
With who?
Cleveland Cavaliers.
What?
Mr. Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
He's trying to creep up and get in that MVP race. Higher everywhere.
Higher everywhere?
Everywhere.
I ain't mad at you, Jay. I kind of like that. Download the Underdog app and sign up now using the promo code FASTBREAK to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign in with promo code FASTBREAK.
Must be 18 and plus in order to play. That means both of our kids can play. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates.
Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org in Arizona. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. If you're in New York, call the 24/7 Hope line. That's 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. HOPE-NY.
You were part of the reality show WAGs.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
I loved WAGs. I had so much fun on that show. The girls were so great. I didn't know any of the girls going into it, which I don't know a lot of people know that because the show reached out to me and they were like, we have this group of girls, but we like love your background and like, do you know anybody that you would want to bring on the show? I'm like, no, I'm not trying to go on a reality show with any other females. Like, I was like, I will act like I've known these girls forever, okay? Yeah. And I was like, I know how to act, all right? So, yeah, we went and filmed the first episode, and I looked like I'd known these girls forever. And we had such a great bond, though, and it was such a great, it was on E, so it wasn't like this catty, like it was just surface level stuff. And we always had like a thing where like, we're like, okay, let's not hit below the belt. We know we need to be entertaining, but like keep it classy, kind of, you know?
Yeah,
we did. We had fun with it. And I really enjoyed my time on the show. So
ECW was really into entertainment and dancing and things of that nature. How did you feel about that? Because I know you wanted to be taken a little bit more serious as a wrestler.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about that? Well,
coming in, I kind of already knew where the women were at that point. Mm-hmm. Like it was still kind of like, you know, for the men viewers, like we're throwing this out there. And so I kind of already knew what I was signing up for. So I was like, it's fine. It won't always be this way. I'll get my chance to wrestle. I just have to like, you know, do my job. Mm-hmm. And, so it's just like I kind of knew. And so I just was like waiting for my opportunity. And I wrestled, you know, before the shows. Like I was really, even, you know, on the road, I was in the ring. Like I really wanted to get it. I really wanted people to take me seriously. Mm-hmm. I didn't want people to think, oh, she's just a model. Like she can't do this. And I was like, I'm going to prove all of you girls wrong. Like I am going to do this. Because I had a lot of backlash when they hired me.
So you had a lot of haters.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. A lot. And even wrestlers were not happy. Yeah, because these guys have been working for years to get here. I had one child and I got hired. So there was I had a lot to prove. Mm-hmm. And I did. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So Barbie, I got a question for you because I know as an athlete and playing in the NBA for so many years, mm-hmm. I had a certain ritual every day that I did before a game. You know, I would eat the same things. I would go to bed at the same time. I would wake up at that, you know, particular time. I would drive the same route to the arena. And then when I got there, you know, I had my same type of, you know, aura of making sure I was just getting ready for that game. As a wrestler, mm-hmm. you know, you knew you got a big match that night. How did you prepare for your match?
You know, so I spoke about it earlier. Like, I had no idea what I was getting into when I was doing this. Like, so just even the weekends, how they look. Okay. So you, as an independent contractor, mm-hmm. we had to rent our own cars. Mm-hmm. We had to get our own hotels.
Oh, okay.
We had to drive 300 miles a night to a different city every night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
They didn't pay for that?
No. No.
Damn, Vince.
This is where, well, it doesn't,
Vince.
now
What the fuck?
it's changed. It has changed now. It has changed. Like people have buses, people, they don't really do the house shows anymore where they're driving. Like it was just, that was just the culture for so long.
Wow.
And we were all okay with it because that's just how it was, right? Like
Right. You
that's
didn't know
just,
no better.
No. And
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? I just was like, oh my, I couldn't even rent a car. I was too young. I was like, what? Like, this is wild. So they would just like pair, like, I mean, I had a good group of girls that we would travel with every weekend. We went a minivan and we would stay in the, you know, 2 girls, we would stay in a room, whatever. But like, yeah, like we're staying in like these middle of nowhere cities and like not great hotels at like getting in at like 3 a.m, just girls, like, you know, I think back and I'm like, wow, we like you can't do that in this day and age.
Right,
like that is
right.
just like unheard of, you know?
Right.
And we didn't even have like, they just came out with like the Garmin before we were printing out directions.
Wow.
We were like, before we would leave for the road, we would have to print out every city and the direction. Like it was like
How
the
to
map
get there,
quest.
huh?
And you
Yeah.
would bring you the directions in the car. So that was my job is I had to print out the directions and have them ready for whoever was driving.
Wow.
Okay. So normally, like I said, we have matches Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday that aren't Friday, Saturday, Sunday that aren't on TV. Monday is TV. So normally how it would go, you would fly in on a Friday, rent the car, go to the arena. You get done at like 10 at night, try to find a Chili's or an Applebee's or a McDonald's, anything that was open at that point.
Right.
And then you would drive, you'd probably get to the hotel at 2 or 3 a.m, sleep till about noon, go to the gym. And it's so funny because all the girls tell this story. I hated going to the gym. Everybody went to the gym and I was like, well, I'm going to go in the locker room. I'm going to go sleep. So I would go to the locker room. I would go to sleep. I would take the car and go to like the tanning salon. Like they're like, how do you look like that? And you eat McDonald's, you eat all the, and they're like, just wait till you get older. Okay. So it's like the running joke was like, Kelly she's in the locker room. Like she's not trying to work out. And it was great. Like because I feel like when I would work out during the day, I would be so tired for my match. So I was like, no, this is not, this is not all size fits one. Like I am different. Okay. I need my rest. So yeah, I did not do the gym. So everybody go to the gym. I just wait around. Then we'd have to get to the arena on the house show days at like 4 or 5. And normally, like you would have for the weekend, the set match, it would be the same match every night for those 3 nights. So it's fine. Like we'd go in Friday, memorize the match and pretty much use that match the rest of the weekend. And then, so for the show on Mondays, we never knew what we were doing. Until we got to the arena, it was like a mystery because they would have their meeting for the show during, like in the morning on Monday.
Production meetings.
Yeah, the production meeting. So we'd have to get to the arena. You wake up like 9, 10, go to the gym. Not me. I would just sit in the hotel room until it's time to be at the arena. And I think we had to get there at like 1. You went and you ate, catering and then waited for the show to come out. And then probably like around 3, you'd find out the match and they were like, tell you, okay, this is who you're going against. This is how much time you have. And then you would go out with the producer who like that helps you put together the matches. And you'd literally only have maybe like an hour to remember like a 10-minute match, which is so stressful because you're on live television.
Right.
And like people forget things. Like luckily I only forgot maybe like 1 or 2 matches, like something. And the great part about like wrestling with women who are been there for a long and know, like they'll always tell you like this is, and the refs help you. Like they'll be like, oh, this was what you're doing next. Which is great. But
they whisper that into your ear.
Like they'll do something to where we'll get in a hold. Like if you kind of look like, I don't know what's happening, they'll put you in a hold and be like, okay, this is what, and then it's like, oh yeah. But my big thing was like writing down because I'm like a visual, like whatever. I had to see it written down exactly how it was going to go. Yeah. So I would write from start to finish and I would memorize it, go to the locker room. We'd get hair and makeup done. We got like full control of like our outfits. Like I got to design them. I was like, that was one of my favorite parts is just like the looks. Like I wanted to be like the sparkliest and all that. So we had seamstresses backstage. So they would just make sure everything was done, fitted right. You'd be done probably about 6 with everything. And then you just wait for the show to start. Normally, I think it goes live at 7. Yeah, at 7. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of it.
I know back in my days, in the wrestling days, when I watched it, and then even taking my son, I took my son to the Staples Center one. Yeah, the SummerSlam. You know, I always said to myself, God, I would love to get on the ropes and just jump off the ropes and just boom on somebody. Tell us what that feeling is like when you get to do something like that.
Your adrenaline, like the second you walk through the curtain, I tell everyone, there is no other feeling like it. It is the best feeling in the world to walk through the curtain. And if you're a good guy, to hear cheers. If you're a bad guy, to hear the boos. Like you lived off that. And like when people are chanting Kelly, Kelly, and they're screaming and they're excited and they have the signs that say Kelly, Kelly, it just like is the best feeling in the world to just, walk through that curtain. People are excited to see you. Like, this is why I do what I do. And it was just like so amazing. And then, I always wanted to do all the crazy stuff. Like I was like, I want to do a back flip here and front flip there. And they're like, all right, like fine. They were great. Like they let me do a lot. And then there was one match where we did this. I think it wasn't the SummerSlam, but there was another one when I was still the champ, and it was against Beth. And we did this thing off the top rope that only men were doing. It was called like a suplex. It was a suplex off the top. You're both on the top rope and you both flip over together onto the mat. Mm-hmm. And at that time, women were not doing this move. And we went to the producer and we're like, hey, we really want to try this move. And I was like, so we couldn't really even rehearse it. We just rehearsed it with a mat. So I never felt what it was going to feel like without the mat.
Right.
Because Beth was like, no, if you do it, you're not going to do it again. So literally we were rehearsing it. You're standing on the top rope and somebody has one arm over the other, and then you have your arm like this and you're holding each other, and then you both jump up at the same time and you flip and you hit the mat. And people are like, oh, the mat's it's padded. No. It's like wood with like steel, and then like a mat that's maybe like that padded. Like it's not,
So you're feeling it when you hit it.
There is no, like when people are like, it's fake. I'm like, no. The moves are scripted, but it is not fake. Like we are really doing these moves, and it is not like, the doctors say every time we would hit the mat, it's like getting in a car crash. Like we're doing stuff that your body is not meant to do. Like this is not. So I was like, okay, when Beth was like, I want to do this move, I was like, all right, let's do it. Like whatever. And so we practiced it, and I was like, okay. So we're doing the match. I see the crowd. I look back and I see everybody, the whole crowd standing up as they see us standing up, because they're like, oh my God, what are they about to do? We do it. I just remember landing being like, same face when I got the freaking single arcade. Like, oh my God, wanting to cry. I think I did have tears rolling down my face. And I was just like, but we did it. And the crowd went insane. And I was like, okay. And so the crazy part is like, that's supposed to be it, right? It's going to look like I'm going to lose. Beth is about to pin me. And so it's like the drama of it, right? Like the ref's like 1, 2, and then I kick out at the last minute and the crowd's like, oh my God. And then I end up like, she goes to do her finisher and I end up like spitting out of it and pinning her and winning. And it was just like that was probably like one of the epic matches for sure.
Well, unlike Kid J, who had, man, I want to jump off I ain't never want to jump off that shit. I'm going to be honest. I'm from the hood. I ain't never want to get on a rope and jump off a rope and land on my back or my stomach or something, or land on somebody. Nah, I was good with watching y'all do that.
Yeah.
I was good with that. That was it for me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Since you were so close to these females, did you have girl beef with any of them?
There was one that I didn't care. So the big thing about wrestling is like your life is in each other's hands. Like anything could happen. So you really kind of put whatever BS you had aside and you would go out there and you were professional. But there was one time this girl did not like me. And we never really, I didn't care for her. We went out for a match and it was like a tag match and I was getting beat up during the match. So she tagged in. I was on the ground. I just remember she punched me so hard in the head, like right here, because I got this huge goose egg and she did it on purpose because she looked me right in my eye and she knew it. We get to the back. I was so pissed. I came through the curtain. I was like, you did this on purpose. I know. And like the producer standing there like, oh, wow. And I was like, she did this on purpose. I'm like yelling. I'm screaming. I'm like so mad. And she's like, no, I would never. And I'm like, you fucking. And I just was like, I'm never wrestling you again. Like, I don't think I ever really had to wrestle her again after that. Because I made a big deal about it. I was like, no, this is not like, this is like, what are you doing? You know?
I mean, wait a minute, but it's professional. And I get what you're saying, but I think I would have wrestled her again because I would have had to get her ass back.
You know what's funny? I think
just saying, I would have had to get that back.
During the match after she did it. I think I got in with her again at that. And I think I really like laid it in. I was like, oh, we're going for it? Okay, we're going for it. So I really laid it in after that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. All right.
Okay. So you transitioned from a gymnast to a cheerleader.
Yeah.
To wrestling. Hollywood. What was that transition like? Disturbing the peace?
Yes, I had. Yeah, that was awesome.
Like transitioning into the Hollywood scene?
It was cool because, you know, when I left WWE, I kind of said, look, I've done everything at this point that I want to do. I'm ready to like kind of see what's out there. I got on the cover of Maxim and all this. So I was like, it was such a cool, like I was given so many opportunities in WWE and, you know, I was just ready. I had been there for almost 7 years, no injuries, on the road 300 days a year, like never took any time off. And I was just, you know, I went in and I saw Vince and Hunter and I was just like, you know, I really want to take some time off. My neck had been hurting me, like the discs in my neck are a little disaligned. And I was like, I want to like just rest. And they were like, okay. And yeah, I just was like, my heart really wasn't in it. And you really have to be like 100% or like it's going to show in your matches. And I just was like, I'm ready to do something else. And they're like, okay, like the door's always open. You know, go do what you want to do.
The door's still open. Would you go back?
My dream is for my kids to see me wrestle, right? So, I mean...
and understand what you do.
Yes, exactly. Gotcha. So I'm, you know, hopefully I get in the Hall of Fame one day, you know, and...
Now, you would be okay with your kids seeing you get hit by a stick for reals?
I mean, I feel like I'd have to teach
on the table.
them, like, this is play. Mommy is playing, okay? So don't worry, you know? I'd have to coach them for a little bit.
Because you really got whacked by that stick.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
You were laying there with that face.
It was so bad. And we rehearsed it with the Sandman who does the Singapore cane. And he was like, oh, Kelly, it's going to be so easy. And he just did this little poke, this little boop. And I was like, oh, okay. That's I saw him sling that thing back. And I was like, oh, my God. This is going to, I just remember like, oh, my God. And like seeing it happen. And I was like, just remember hitting the ground, seeing stars. Oh, my gosh. Just like, what just happened? What just happened? And we go to the back. And I'm like they have me on a like gurney thing, right? So I get to that and I open my eyes and Vince is standing over me and he's like, Kelly, you okay? And I remember all the guys being like, the ones who kind of were like brother, father figures, like who kind of like were guiding me along. They're like, when you get hit with that cane and you come to the back, do not let them see you cry. Do not cry. Do not cry. And I was like, so that's in the back of my head, right? So I'm like, okay, so Vince's like, you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Yeah. Everyone is standing there. Like it is like a line of people waiting to see what I'm going to do. And I get off the gurney and I'm like, everyone's like, you okay? That was I'm like, yeah, I'm great. I get to the locker room. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like bawling. I'm crying my parents. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like what? But next week I was out there doing it again. So, you know.
Yeah, watching you lay there like that, that face you gave, I was like, yeah, that part wasn't fake. She got hit on that one.
Yeah, that was rough.
You just talked about it a second ago, your kids. And we know you've been very open about being a mother. And how has motherhood been for you?
Oh, like a dream. Literally, like I've wanted it for so long. And, it wasn't an easy, it wasn't easy. We had a hard time getting pregnant and just to like go through that. And we have these two amazing twins and it's just, they're my whole world now. Like, they're just all I want. All I want to do is hang out with them. Like I don't want to do anything else, and yeah.
That's great. That's great. Any plans on any more or?
I say I want one more.
What do you enjoy thinking about?
We say one more, but it has to be a boy. Like no, my daughter is. She is just.
Oh, I have one of those too.
Yeah. I'm like we're good.
Yeah.
I have one of those.
We all have one of those. Yeah.
She came right out the womb like that. Like we had an amazing baby nurse, and she was like, oh. The day we brought her home, she's like, you're going to have a handful. I'm like, she's 4 days old. She's like, no. I'm like, oh, I see it. I see it now. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she ain't even 2 yet.
No. Yeah. And my son is an angel.
That'll change. That'll change.
Yeah.
That'll change. She gonna make him bad.
Oh gosh, she beats him up.
I'm telling you, she gonna make him bad because he gonna want to kill her.
I know. Yeah. He just like takes it, and she's just like, I'm like, oh, sorry, bud.
So now you've had time to reflect on your wrestling career. Is there anything you would have done differently?
No, I did everything I wanted to do. I got to see the world. I went to Iraq and Afghanistan during when it was like the war was really crazy in 2006, 2007, 2008. That was one of the most amazing, rewarding experiences being there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And getting to see the troops and visiting them. And yeah, I mean, I was on the cover of Maxim. I got the Divas Championship. Like I feel like there were so many things that I wanted to do, and I got to do all of them. So
that's fantastic.
That's
and
amazing.
Your brand is so strong.
Thank you.
What would you give? What type of advice would you give to a 19-year-old that wants to be a wrestler that came up to you and said, Miss Kelly, I want to be like you. What can I do?
There's so many things. But probably like the biggest thing for me is just learning and learning. And so keeping, what do they say? Keep your eyes open, mouth shut kind of thing. Yeah. Like you always want to constantly learn. And I just remember going, and I was trained by Al Snow, who was like an amazing wrestler. And I got to be trained by the greats, and I just would go into the ring and all these people would get in the ring with me and help me. Everybody was so helpful. So yeah, I think it's just probably just like listening to the guys and girls who have been there before you, getting all the advice that you can, from people who have been there, and just like practicing your character and like going in and like whatever role you're given. Like I was, Kelly was me. It was just me like 100 times more, right? But like, and that was the greatest thing, to be able to be myself. Like I could have never been a bad guy. I tried. Vince was like, I remember that was the other time I went to his office. I wanted to be a bad guy. And he was like, all right, let me see your bad guy face. And so I was like, okay. So and I started laughing. Like, he was like, Kelly, get out of my office. Like, this is no.
Yeah, get on out of here. Get out of my office.
Yeah.
You can't be a bad guy.
No. So, yeah. So I was myself, and it was, and I just practiced like, big things is like on the mic. So I just practicing on the mic, and it's just like perfecting those little things that they give you, and going home and really practicing your craft. Really.
Yeah. That saying is, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
Yes.
Listen more than you speak.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're coming up and you're trying to learn and you're trying to get to that next level.
Exactly.
So that's great advice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you watch the WWE today? Who's your favorite?
I do. I really try to like be in the know of what's going on, because I still am around. I come back here and there. I really love Charlotte Flair. I think she is amazing. She's Ric Flair's daughter, and she was just kind of fell into it. Like, I think she had gone to college. I think she had like a real job, like, and then just decided, I want to become a wrestler. And she just blew up, and she's so amazing. She's so great. Just everything. So one day I'm like, we're going to have our match. So that would be
Kids
cool.
get a little older, so they can see what mommy's doing.
Yeah.
All the great moments that you had in the WWE. is there still one or two that you think about that still get, because I remember earlier when you were sitting there, you was like, oh, it's giving me goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
Is there still one or two other things that happen in your career in the WWE that you just, when you talk about it, just gives you goosebumps?
I mean, the Divas Championship. Yeah. I mean, that's one. There was a match that was here when it was the Staples Center. It
Still
was
is.
I know. Same. I agree.
Yeah, we still call it Staples Center.
It was SummerSlam 2012. I was the champ at the time. I was going against Beth Phoenix, who I absolutely loved having matches with.
I went to that.
Were you there?
I went to that one.
Stop!
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I had no idea who was there, but I was there. I was watching it.
We were like, I was there.
Yeah.
It was cool. My mom was there. And it was just like such a cool moment. Like the match was so amazing. The crowd was so into it. And I just remember finishing the match just like this is the height of my career. Like this is it, and just so like I remember matches like that just like make me so happy. And I had so many great things happen. So.
All right, so we're going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
We do a top 5 here.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us your top 5 wrestlers of all time. It could be male or female.
Yes.
Okay. Number 1, Stone Cold.
Stone
Cold Steve Austin.
Is, love
It's a
him.
bad man.
Love him so much. Okay, number 2, The Big Show.
Big Show.
Okay.
Big Show's amazing. Trish Stratus.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm gonna be shocked if not two at least in the top 5 are not women. I was gonna be shocked.
Trish is definitely one.
So that's 3.
Oh gosh. Okay. Lita. I love Lita. I think
Okay.
she's amazing. 5.
It's a lot to choose from.
I know. What are you saying, right?
I was about to say.
Okay, I'll say myself.
There you go.
Twist my arm.
Barbie or Kelly?
Oh, Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah.
What's next for Barbie or what's next for Kelly Kale? Yeah, I didn't change the name. It's Kelly. I went to Kelly Kale. That's hood name. Right?
I like
Kelly
that.
Kale.
I
No,
like
you don't
it.
want to use that name.
No. We're going to go to Barbie. So
Kels, you don't want to use.
So Barbie, what's next for you?
Oh my gosh. Right now, my main focus while my babies are so young is just being present, being home with them
mom.
every day, being a mom.
Yeah.
And then, once they go to school, I'll have some more free time. And then, I'll go back to focusing on, career and stuff. I mean, I still do like wrestling signings. I still do like Comic Cons and stuff like that, which is a nice getaway on the weekends to be able to do that. My husband takes over. But I try to only do like 2 weekends in a month, where I'm still around. So, I don't know. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, there you go.
Are you pursuing acting?
I do. So I have a manager. She still submits me for roles. Like I still go out and I still audition and stuff. I auditioned for the Happy Gilmore because they were looking for a female wrestler. Somebody else got it, but it's fine. So it's cool that like, I know.
Right. What's wrong with y'all?
Seriously.
You thinking about?
So yeah, I mean, if the opportunity comes along and it's in LA, for sure. Like I would love to do something, especially like if it's, athletic or something like that. Right. So we'll see. And then like I said, I always keep like, I go to the shows and, at WWE and maybe they'll call me for another Rumble, who knows? So I've definitely come back for that.
You were talking about your kids earlier before we started to show how proud you are as a mom of these 2 beautiful young kids. Did you guys expect to have twins?
You know what's wild is I used to tell my girlfriends, like in high school, I was like, I'm going to have twins. So my dad's mom was a twin and I just thought it was the coolest thing. So I was like, I'm going to have twins. I know it. I want twins. And I feel like I put it out in the universe. So we did IVF and we got a great turnout of eggs. Like we did really well. And so we put 1 in, it didn't take. And my IVF doctor was like, okay, I think you should put in 2. And my husband was like, no, we're gonna have twins. Like, no, are you out of your mind? And so it took a little, convincing. And I was like, I can't do this again. Like I put it, and my IVF doctor talked to him. Was like, look, I think this is the best thing for you guys. And so she really convinced him. So then finally, after a few weeks, he was like, okay, fine, I'm aboard. But it has to be a boy and a girl. And I was like, okay, at first he wanted 2 boys. I was like, no, I'm getting my girl. Okay. So he's like, fine.
Can you control that, boy?
Yeah.
A
You can
girl?
put in the
Really?
eggs. Yeah. So after the embryos, like they make the embryos and then like, then they takes a few weeks and they are able to like separate the boys from the girls. And yeah.
So, Vince, in 16 years, mom-daughter tag teaming.
You know what? There you go.
Charlotte
cool.
Flair, Kelly,
there
and
you
their
go.
children.
Yeah, there you
Calling
go.
it, Vince.
I like that.
I like it. Put it out there. Put it out there. We're going to manifest
Put that in the
right
universe
now.
right there. Yes, yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Kelly, Barbie Blank on the Byron
guys.
Scott Fast Break podcast. Thank you for watching Byron Scott's Fast Break. If you like what you saw, here's some more videos. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.